Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sineads, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to aquascape using Real Reef Rocks and some of our tips and advice, so keep watching. Real Reef Rock is one of the best basis structures to use when designing your aquarium. Before we jump into the world of aquascaping, let's think about a few key points which we'll break down in this video. These being the placement of our scaping material, the flow in the tank, the aesthetic, tank size, balance and space, and most importantly, your 12-month plan. You want to make sure that you have positioned your reef rocks in your scape where you want your corals to get the most desired flow. For example, some of your corals may prefer low flow, and this placement might mean you need to place these corals at the other end of the tank. Other corals might need a stronger and heavier flow, so you want to make sure your reef rock is placed at a good position near the wave maker. So it's important to think of the position of your reef rocks in terms of your desired corals. Placement is just as important as flow when you're setting up your scape. Then our best advice is to set up your reef rocks beforehand to give you a good idea of what you want your scape to look like. Also, adding and setting them up before adding water can help you position them easier. Another important element in aquascaping is thinking about the aesthetic of your tank. This is a vital part of understanding how you want your aquascape to look and feel. How you set up your aquascape should depend on what sort of aquarium you are looking to create. For example, if you're wanting more of a reef and lots of coral, more rocks allow for more space to add frags and colonies. However, more rocks mean less space for fish and other invertebrates. That's why it's important to consider what sort of system you want to run before placing your reef rocks and finding out later that you can't keep as many fish as you would have hoped. However, another great reason why we like using Real Reef Rocks as they add a mature coralline look to your aquarium, which is another bonus to your aesthetic. It's important to think about your tank space when you're aquascaping, as filling it with reef rocks might not always be the most suitable thing to do, given the size of your aquarium. For example, here is a peninsular tank. This means that the viewing experience can be seen throughout 3 different points, allowing you to see what would traditionally be the back, with the rock in a central position not backed up to any side. Whereas our other display tank doesn't have a viewing area on the back, which means that all of our visuals are seen from the front, and this affects the placement of your corals, but can also mean you can create more depth and dimension with your reef rocks. So consider the size of your tank when you are aquascaping. A good example of the ratio of reef rocks to tank volume is 200 litre tank would have 20 kilos of rock, which is around 10% of the tank literage. Just like the size of your tank is a considering factor, so is understanding the balance and space around your reef rocks. For example, in this Aqua 1 mini reef tank, you can see there's a considerable space between the glass and the reef rock. This is intentional, as it allows an adequate gap to clean the front of your tank. If there isn't enough room, your tank can build up with algae and ruin the aesthetic of your tank. Space should also be considered, as more reef rocks may help with filtration, but mean less space for your fish. You also want to make sure that you have a good balance between reef rocks, corals and fish and your equipment, as you want to provide enough room for them all. It's also a good idea to make sure that you have some sort of rock cement or reef putty to glue individual or smaller rocks together as a way of creating different heights or shapes with your aquascape. Remember also that the life source will come in from the top, and adding a large shelf near the surface will show the rest of the aquarium. So consider how light will filter through for your corals and what their preferences are too. Another thing to consider when aquascaping with reef rocks is to think of what you would hope your tank to look like in the future. It's best to think about how you want your tank to look in 12 months, as some fish and corals won't be a good idea until this time in the tank's life. If you've not planned space for livestock and you want to add, you may be disappointed. Our best advice would be to be realistic with your tank size and equipment, and even plan out the position of your reef rocks by setting it up beforehand to ensure you are happy with the way it looks. But most importantly, have fun with creating your aquascape, as this can be one of the best pieces of furniture in your home. Thanks guys for watching. We hope you found that video helpful. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to click the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content. Thanks guys, we'll see you next time.